Over the last little while, Funko has been announcing some pretty crazy pops, and today we're going to be talking about all of them. And now the first thing that we're going to be starting with here is something that happened over at the Grammys. If you watched, you probably saw what Jaden Smith was wearing. And well, Funko actually turned that into a pop, and what they said is if enough people want it, they'll put it into the Pop Yourself side of their website, where you could throw this onto a character of you. I think it'd be pretty funny, and I would definitely pick one up for myself, and it was just such a random thing for him to do. It was kind of funny. Also, I've got to say, they have been pretty quick with a lot of stuff recently. You love to see it. Now, keeping it Grammys themed, we now have the first ever Sabrina Carpenter Pop coming out. This year is actually based off of a pretty iconic photo where she's wearing the nightgown on top of, I believe it's either like a carpet or a rug or something. Anyways, I think it's pretty well done. There have been comments for years now of people asking for a Sabrina Carpenter Pop, so to finally have one, it's pretty exciting. Now, this is a pre-order, and you can get it over on Funko.com as well as a couple other websites. And if you're wondering when it's going to ship, it's actually 5/26, so not for a couple months, but you might as well get them in now because the pre-orders aren't open forever. And actually, speaking of pre-orders, going on to the next one here, we have the Wicked 2-pack. And I don't know why they're just calling it Wicked 2-pack when these two definitely have, well, maybe, you know what? Actually, now that I say that, maybe they don't have names. Like, we of course know who these two are. They're the original cast from the Wicked musical. But, yeah, I guess they're in it for just like a little bit of time. They might not have a name. Either way, though, I think it is so cool that Funko is turning these two into their very own 2-pack. And this one is going to be shipping on 8/26, so a couple months later. If I were to guess why the dates are so different, they've probably had the Sabrina Carpenter one in the works for a little bit, but then maybe pushed it early so it could be for the Grammys, when this one here probably just started when the movie first came out. Still an amazing set of figures, and I know that Wicked Part 2 is going to be releasing later this year, so it'll go along perfectly with that. Now let's jump into some turtle action, where we have a brand new set for the last Ronin. What they've done here really is amazing, because we're getting a brand new Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo, and a deluxe version of course, the last Ronin. They put so much detail into every single one of these figures, and I love all of the weapons, and the last Ronin actually being a deluxe with like a broken down building with like the rubble around him. It's perfect. I also think that this was probably the best way to do it, because of course we've got a couple last Ronin figures in the past, but it's only ever been Mikey. And is that a spoiler? I mean, it can't be. You know who it is. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to get at here is I think they really did make them the best possible. There's only one version of each, the way to do it. Oh, and also, if you're looking for more turtles, there's going to be a 4-pack releasing on Amazon. And it's kind of funny because they've gotten every single Turtles 4-pack ever created. Why? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe there's some sort of deal going on there. But either way, I pre-ordered it. And if you want it, you should definitely do it now, because I don't know how long it's going to be up for. Now let's get into a brand new Star Wars set. And this one here is for Andor. We have, of course, Cassie and Andor in a brand new outfit, as well as Kino Loy, I believe is how you pronounce it. Then after that, everybody, we have Luthen Rail, and I really don't know how to pronounce a lot of these names. I should get better at this. And the fourth one that we have is Marva? I think so. And if I'm going to be honest, out of the four of them, that one is definitely my favorite. I love the way the hologram looks in it with the droid underneath. I'm definitely going to pick that up as soon as I can. And also, next time I talk about these characters, I will be better with the names. Oh, right. We've got brand new Gwenpools coming out. And what I like about this, because they've done it with a couple different characters, like Venom as different characters and Carnage as different characters. And well, now we're getting Gwenpool as Captain America, Wolverine, Iron Man, and Thor. And I think this is a cool way to do it, because of course they've done so many of the other ones. It's nice to give us a brand new character that we can kind of like mash up with the main one. Oh, and you know what? Now that I think about it, we also got a bunch of Groots too for the I Am Groot show. Or was it We Are Groot? Either way, there is so many different versions of Groot as, you know, the main Avengers. You know what? Looking at these ones here too, I think my favorite out of the bunch is either going to be the Cap Gwen or Iron Gwen. They both look pretty interesting. Now let's jump into some Britney Spears pops. And these ones here, we actually have 3 different versions of her for different music videos, I believe. It is the Oops, I Did It Again with the speech bubble, which they've been doing a lot more recently. And I think it's kind of a neat way to include a little bit more detail on the figures. Then we have Stronger as well as Lucky. And I don't know if I know the song Lucky. Maybe if I heard it, I would, but just off the top of my head, I can't think of it. Either way, though, I know a lot of people are fans of Britney Spears, so these are probably gonna do pretty well. And then after that, though, everybody, we have the Hershey's Cookies and Cream. I am a big fan of this one because I like all of the ad icons as well as food-related figures, and so to finally have another one, it's great. Mind you, it is a little too bad that we're only getting one new figure. I would like a whole wave of some other ones, and I'm hoping, Funko, you do it soon, because, I mean, this one's great, but we do already have the regular Hershey's chocolate bar, so it's kind of just like a redo of that one. So, I mean, come on, some new foods, I'd love it. Then, everybody, we've got some brand new Pokemon, which I'm always a big fan of. So, we've got Gardevoir, which is a really great one, as well as Fido and Dratini. The three of these really do look amazing, and I have been trying to keep up with all of the Pokemon Pops, and it hasn't been too bad recently. For a while there, it was like they were just throwing every single Pokemon at you, but, you know, within the last, like, year or so, it's been like 3, then they released 3, then they released 3 with, like, a couple exclusives mixed in, which is very doable if you're trying to catch them all, and with these 3 here, I will definitely be grabbing them right away. I love them. Now, getting back to Star Wars, we have another new set of them, and I don't know if they're exclusive to anywhere. It doesn't look like it, but they are a pretty cool set. It's like the retro versions of some of the characters that you probably know and love. We have Kylo Ren, which I really do enjoy because it looks like he's got like cuts all over him. Then we've got Boba Fett as well as Fives. I mean, come on. He looks good. There's just something about them that I really enjoy, and I believe they fall under the Star Wars category. Yeah, they do. I didn't know if they'd be in the retro toys or Star Wars, because sometimes when I see the lists online, people put these characters into the retro toys category. And now, of course, there are those old Kenner action figures, but this can't be what they're based off of. It's mainly, I believe, based off of the comics, because they had a similar style to what Funko's been doing with a lot of these figures, and it actually translates really well into the 3D Pop. Now we've got a set of Pops that we've never seen before. It's for the Secret of Nimh, and we've got some great ones actually. Justin, Mr. Ages, Miss Brisby, and Jeremy Crow. They've got some really great detail, and I love all that Funko did. And I'm wondering if there's some sort of like anniversary coming out with these ones, because The Secret of Nimh is a super old movie. Maybe there's just somebody over at Funko that really enjoys it. I could see that too. Also, when I mentioned that these figures were coming out to my dad, he was pretty excited about it because apparently he had watched the movie when he was younger. And so yeah, I'll probably be getting a couple of these. I really do like, well, I mean, all of them look great, but I don't know why Jeremy Crow stands out to me a lot. There's something about the birds when they turn them into Funko Pops, but the more like anthropomorphic ones, if that makes sense. Like if they ever made a Chicken Little, I would totally eat that setup. Also, I'm thinking of Alan Adale too from, I believe, Robin Hood. Like there is so many weird ones that Funko's done, and Jeremy Crow definitely reminds me of those. Yeah, I'll probably be getting him. Oh right, now we've got Barney, and what's kind of funny about these ones here is that we were talking about the retro toys earlier. These two, Barney and Baby Bop, actually fall into that category. Maybe that was the way that they were able to get the license, by like skirting around it and saying like, hey, you know what, it's actually the toy, not the show, because I know they've done that before. It happened a long time ago with Indiana Jones. It's always the main one that I think of, where they were only able to make figures based on the ride at Disneyland and not the movies. So for the first bunch, whenever you would see them, it was always like just Indiana Jones, and he had the things that you would find him with in the ride. It also had on the back Temple of the Forbidden Eye, which is the name of the ride, and now they're able to do the movies, but still, for years, it was a bit of a weird thing they had to do. And so I'm guessing that's probably similar to what they're doing here. Like, they of course have toys for Barney, so it's like, well, it's old enough, let's just call it a retro toy. Either way, though, still cool, and I'm glad that we're finally getting Barney, because I know people have been asking for him for a long time. And now, let's get into the brand new WWE set. And it looks like a lot of these figures are brand new wrestlers that I haven't seen before. Like, I think Shawn Michaels has one, but I don't think X-Pac does. Gunther might. LA Knight, I'm not sure about. Stacy Keibler, I believe is how you pronounce it. And then Io Sky. I don't know those two. Either way, though, they look really great. I like how they put Shawn Michaels jumping in the air. I think it's always nice when they're able to give it like a bit more of a dynamic pose. It works well for these guys. Now, everybody, we have the Pride collection that's going to be releasing probably later on towards the summer, maybe even in June if it makes it out in time. Either way, though, we have Batwoman with a Pride flag on her entire suit. Actually, all of them are like that. So we have Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and who's the fourth one? Tim Drake. I thought it was Robin. Who is Tim Drake? Okay, I'm gonna look this up quick. Oh, okay. Tim Drake is, it comes up as Robin when you do that. What? Or it comes up as Robin anyways. He's a superhero in Batman. What the heck? Red Robin, Tim Drake. Who's Dick Grayson then? Dick Grayson comes up as Nightwing, but then it also says Robin. So I'm gonna need somebody who knows a lot of DC comic lore. Could you just pop this in the comments? What's going on here? Anyways, though, moving on, let's get into the next one here, which is going to be a brand new figure for Shaun of the Dead. And there is also a Chase version, too, where I believe he's bloody. Yeah, he's got the blood splatter all over him. It's a perfect way to do it. I love that he's got the pool cue in his hand. It's just really well done. It's like a nice updated version of him from that last one that they did for Funko Fusion. It's pretty great. And then after that, keeping it on the bloody theme, we have Vincent Smith from Motel Hell. They're just one figure coming out, and I'm guessing it's a horror movie. I've never heard of it before, but yeah, it's an interesting pop, that's for sure. It seems like a regular guy with like a pig head, or is it like a mashup, kind of like, you know, Dogman, but maybe like a little more R-rated? Either way, though, whatever it is, he looks interesting. Now, I haven't seen many people talk about these yet, but it seems like they're coming out with a brand new line of plush called beanbags. Or maybe it's just a beanbag plush because that's what's inside of them. It might also just fall under the pop plush category. It says on the tag, Pop Plush Minis. Okay, so it seems like they're a little bit smaller than usual. They're only retailing for $5, so nothing too crazy, but they're coming out with a Yeti Sloth Otter, which I think is really cute because he's got a little star in his hand. We also, it's probably actually a starfish now that I think about it. Either way, though, we then have an Axolotl, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Stitch, and Spider-Man. A pretty nice variety, and I'll probably order a couple of these when they first release, so that way we can see what they look like in person, because I really am curious. I think out of all of these here, my favorites are probably going to be the ones that don't really have a license that go along with them. Like, of course, I love Turtles, as well as Marvel and Stitch, but for some reason, the Yeti, the Sloth, the Otter, and the Axolotl, they're pretty cute. I like them. Then, everybody, we've got a brand new Pop Premium. And I know that there's a couple different classifications when it comes to Pops, so I will explain it a little bit. There is Pops, the normal ones that come in the 4-inch box. Then there's Pop Plus, which is like more detail on the regular size box. But when it comes to Pop Premium, I actually grabbed one because I knew we'd be talking about it. This is one of the Pop Premiums, the SpongeBob SquarePants heading out. It's the same height as a regular 4-inch figure, but it's a little bit wider and has more going on. So like with this one here, he's got the remote as well as the chair, and it just wouldn't have fit inside of a regular, like, 4-inch box. You know, the one that usually holds a Pop. So they put it in the slightly larger box because it has more detail, and that's why it's a Pop Premium. This one here of Rengoku seems like that's what it's going to be. Just like a slightly larger box with a lot of great detail. Then we've got some brand new Star Wars ones. Again, not Andor this time, but we've actually got some new Lukes and a brand new R2-D2 as well. And I really am a big fan of this set. And again, I don't know if it goes with like a new anniversary or something, or if it's literally just because they're going back and doing some of like the most iconic moments. And like, I would even consider the Luke Skywalker with remote to be kind of like a meme, because you know the part where he goes with the blast shield down, I can't even see. How am I supposed to fight? Like, I don't know, I just find it pretty funny. And I also love the Luke Skywalker with the binary sunset, and it is too bad they couldn't fit the sunset into there somewhere, but it looks like it might be on the back. Like, do you see what it's got there on the glam shot? Oh, it's actually got a giant, like, Death Star in the back of the box. That is interesting. You know how they, like, slide a card into the back of the box? It seems like it's a Death Star for that one. Even though it would have been kind of neat if they did the two suns, I guess the Death Star makes sense, too. Then, everybody, the fourth one that we've got is the R2-D2 one with the Princess Leia hologram. This would actually be inside of, I guess would it be, is that Obi-Wan's house, or is it Luke's house? I think it's Obi-Wan's from what I remember. Anyways, it's when they're sitting down in that little room, he gives them the lightsaber for the first time, and then you also get this like projected onto the table. Yeah, I don't know whose house that is. Either way, though, it's a really cool moment, and I like that Funko's turning it into a pretty cool pop. And then we've got some brand new Superman figures. This is for the 1978 movie, and so we have Jor-El, as well as Lois Lane, Lex Luthor with Kryptonite necklace. And then we also have the Superman with the Fortress of Solitude, and all of these really do look great. And I know my brother was a big fan of Superman when he was younger. Still is, actually. We're super excited about the new movie coming out this summer, so it'll be interesting to see if they come out with new ones for that movie as well. They definitely definitely will. We'll probably just have to wait on that because that movie doesn't release until July. And so for now, if you're looking for some cool Superman pops, definitely go for these ones here. Now, everybody, we've got our first bit of Biddy Pop news for the day. And these ones were actually talked about a little while ago, but I didn't have anywhere to talk about them, so I wanted to mention them now because we have a brand new thing coming out called Biddy boxes. From the looks of it, they're going to be the same size as a regular pop. And what's going to happen is on the inside, you'll actually be able to fold it open and you'll be able to play almost like a Polly Pocket size thing with the Biddy Pops inside of buildings or houses. They're coming out with 4 of them, and what I really enjoy is that there's exclusive Biddies inside of every single one. And we're getting Hogwarts Castle, we're getting the Byers house, Pennywise's lair, and Lilo's house. You know what? There was also supposed to be a Turtles hideout releasing. It's not on the website here, but I know it is coming, and that one, out of the 5 actually, now that I say that, is probably my favorite. But then again, I'm also a big fan of Lilo and Stitch, so I think that one's also really great, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it releases before the movie so we can talk about it together. And now, everyone, we've got brand new Transformers. These ones here are really great. We've got Hot Rod with the Matrix, Cyclonus, as well as Mega... Actually, I thought his name was Super Omega Supreme. It's just that he's a 6-inch figure, so it's just Omega Supreme. If you're a fan of Transformers, I apologize about that. I mean, he is pretty super, if you ask me, but that's not his name. They look really great, and I'm definitely going to be picking them up, and I believe they fall into the retro toys category. They do! How exciting. I do know that this is also the second version of Hot Rod, because there was one that I believe fell into the digital set that they did a little while ago, so I guess it's cool that if you couldn't get him there, you can now get him here with the Matrix. And well, anyways, everybody, there we go. That is all of the new pops that I have for you today, and let me know in the comment section below which ones you're going to be picking up, because there is a pretty good variety of stuff releasing, and for me, I've already pre-ordered a couple of these, like that brand new Sabrina Carpenter, as well as the 2-pack coming out for Wicked. And when it comes to a lot of the other ones, even though they're not available yet, as soon as they are, I will definitely be grabbing a couple. And anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow!